Good morning. It's a bright and sunny day already here in the desert, and today I'm going to show you guys how to change the oil on a 2018 Ford Focus. I've got the car up on these plastic ramps. They're super convenient. They make it really easy. You can just drive up there and then you can access everything underneath that you need to. And then I like to put a brick behind the back tires as well, just in case. Here I've got the things that we're going to need to complete the oil change. We've got our Ford Motorcraft SAE 5W20 synthetic blend motor oil, our Fram oil filter, it's the PH3614. We've got our rag, our funnel, an oil filter wrench. You're going to need a Torx bit, it's a T30 to remove the covering, the protective covering underneath the car. And then we're going to need a 15mm socket for the drain pan, and then something to put the oil in when it comes out of the car. Just a side note, to open the hood on your Ford Focus, there's a little lever right here, and you just pull that. It's right underneath the steering wheel on the left-hand side there. Then there's a secondary lever that you're going to need to pull. Right here, it's this little yellow one. You pull that and that'll allow you to open your hood all the way and prop your prop rod up there. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, underneath the car there's this skid plate or protective covering. It's held on by a bunch of Torx screws. So this is where you're going to take your T30 Torx bit, and you're just going to remove all of these screws from the skid plate cover. This is our covering once it's removed from underneath the car, and I had 11 screws that I took out. And with the covering off, you can see everything underneath your car. The oil filter on the 2018 is actually right up front here, so it's really easy to access. And then the drain plug, not sure if you can see where I'm going here, but it's actually kind of straight back from the oil filter almost. And that's right here. We're going to use a 15mm socket on there. I've put my drain pan underneath the car ready to catch the oil. And we just let it drain. I usually set the drain plug on the side here so it doesn't get too covered in oil. And once your oil is nearly done dripping, we can put our drain plug back in. Next, we're going to remove our old oil filter. A lot of times oil filters are on there hand tight and you can just remove them by hand. You just grab them and turn them. However, if you have a stubborn one, I've got this rubber strap oil filter wrench, and you would just put that on there and then use the leverage to turn it. And then it starts moving. You can remove that and just unscrew your filter. It'll drain right down into your oil pan. Next thing we're going to need to do is put our new filter on. We're going to take some of the new oil and pour it into the oil filter, because you never want to put on an oil filter when it's completely dry. And then the new oil filter just screws back on. And under the hood here on top of the engine, we have our dipstick, which we'll check later, and we have our area right here is where we're going to put the oil in. We're going to remove that, and we're going to use our funnel. Next, we're going to check it and make sure it's where it should be. You got to do it twice because the first time doesn't count. And make sure it's right there between those two dots. Now all that's left to do is put the skid plate back on and clean everything up. Most auto stores or auto parts stores will take your used oil, so give it to them to properly dispose of it. And then we'll take the vehicle off ramps, double check the oil again, and you're good to go. Well, that's it for today's video on how to change the oil on this 2018 Ford Focus. I hope you guys liked it. If not, leave me a nasty comment, but if you did, leave me a good comment, like, subscribe, any of those fun things.